feel like sometimes life is really mental.
Dude, that's actually a really good name for a podcast.
I wish that we didn't rush it so much. We didn't really capture the moment. Just enjoy everything you get to do. Being in that young age and get to do all of this, it's like almost no one who gets to do this. Enjoy it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Really Mental, where we want you to know no matter who you are, you're not alone. Today we have two amazing guests, Marcus and Martinus, and they are a Norwegian dance pop group, and they are actually identical twins as well. We're going to be talking about family and the importance of family, as well as their experience with growing up in the spotlight. So I want to get straight into it. The guys have amazing stories and they have amazing connections with their parents and their family and their whole support system as a whole. So we're going to get into this chat, and thank you so much for sticking around. Be sure to share it with a friend and follow us at Really Mental Podcast for weekly episodes. So we'll see you then, and yeah, enjoy the episode. Welcome the boys. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, both of you, and who you are and what you do for those that are listening?
Yes, we're Marcus and Martinus. We're from Norway, north of Norway, and we are singers. We've been doing this since we were 10 years old, actually, and we're still grinding hard and working hard. So yeah, that's us.
So how did you even get started with music?
When we were younger, we always wanted to be football players. That was like everything we wanted to do. So music just came in very randomly in the start, and everything started when we were actually in a children choir. We had a very good teacher who helped everyone to actually love what they were doing. So she made us fall in love with the music, being on stage and everything. And after that, we joined a competition called MGP Junior, which is like a Eurovision for kids competition in Norway. And we won that when we were 10 years old. That's where it all started.
Yeah, nice. And for you guys, what does music mean to you, and what do you feel when you perform or when you make music and when you are really creative?
Wow, it's a very difficult question, but when we're standing on that stage, it's you forget everything. It's like you're like in your own world. You can like, I don't know, make up things in your head, what you're doing. Like you're in your own world. You can do whatever you want because this is your world. This is your stage. Like you can do what you think is right or what you think you want to do. Same when you're in the studio, like you're just in your own bubble, like your own world, doing your thing. Yeah. But I would say like music, that's everything to us. It's been our whole life growing up.
I love that. And I think it's interesting doing music as a career, obviously, and making music. And it sounds just as special to you as listening to it as well. What's something that you feel you've learned as a result of the journey you've been on with your career?
I think it's a lot of experience that people don't get through their whole life, what we get to do on our journey. And we're just so lucky everything we get to experience, and we should be very thankful for that. And especially through Corona, that was a hard period for us, but it made us really look back on how lucky we actually are to get to do all of this stuff. Because I remember when we were out traveling, we usually have like around 200 to 220 traveling days a year before Corona. And I remember at that time, I was like, we got tired and stuff like that because we were very bad to say to the people around us that we're tired, we need to take a break. It's been hard sometimes for me and Marcus when we're leaving, and we know like now we're going out to travel for 2 months because we're on tour. So we're not going to be able to see our family, our dog, friends, everything. And that's a very hard part of our job. But when Corona came, I felt like that was the time where we actually could live the normal life that, we had that opportunity. We actually lived as normal teenagers for 1.5 years, kind of. So that was like our time to shine the normal life.
What would you say then would have been like the toughest time before that when you were touring and stuff? What does that look like as much as you're comfortable going into?
Yeah. I would say that the most difficult part for us was being away from family and home, where we really got to be ourselves and dress on how we wanted to and everything. But I didn't feel like we really had a roller coaster ride until Corona came. That was like the first part where we really felt like, what is going on here? Because everything was going so the first 8, 9 years with everything. So we never felt like anything coming against us. So when Corona came, the first month were really difficult for us because you just felt like everything that you've been working for in 8, 9 years, you've been prioritizing away your whole teenagehood, childhood for this job and this career. And that just slowly everything washed away. It was very hard for us when Corona came because it was good with some breaks in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, very nice. Suddenly, like it was months, then it was years. Like nothing was normal after 2 years. We were like, how are we supposed to start this music again? And it was hard.
How you both help each other through those times? Because you're brothers, you're working together. Are you each other's support systems?
I'm a guy that is a bit difficult when it comes to those type of feelings. I like to keep everything of that to myself, so I don't give my problems to everyone else. So I'd rather sit there and be sad and angry at myself. I don't recommend it because it's always good to have someone to talk to, but I'm just a guy that don't want everyone else to get in my problems.
What advice would you give to people who are experiencing like disappointment or sadness in their own lives?
Everything will be okay again. Of course, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to know that feeling inside of you, the hurting feeling or sad feeling or anything. But as long as you know, work against it and just keep up. I think it's very important that you try to stay positive, because if you don't, then it will not help at all. You always got to think like positive through it, and you just got to give it a little time. And it's very hard to give it a little time because it feels like forever, but sometimes just a little break, give it a little time, and it will be okay. And I think it's very important that you don't, if know that you have family around you or friends that you really care about, that you could be with.
How do you find people to trust in your circles?
You will always find friends around where you're working or where you're having a good time. You will always find good friends, but the people you really trust are the closest to you, which is family or brother. And that's like the people, you know, you really can trust 100%. In this business industry that we are in, it can be very, you could almost say dangerous, because it's a place where people mostly think about money and then it comes to you after that. So it's always good to have people around you that think about you before everything else. And that's why it's always so good to have family with you, especially for us in that industry that we are in.
When you think on the people you have around you, do you feel supported and like safe at the moment? Or do you feel like you're looking to bring in more people that like you can trust in the future to like be there?
I think the less people you have in a circle, the better, because this is the people you trust. When it comes to music, the circle we have there, we changed everything with music management, label, booking, PR, everything being Swedish now. We're Norwegian, but we're working with the Swedish people, and we just have a really good bond with them. We had a lot of meetings with them before Corona as well, so we finally got to change everything now after Corona, and it's been a very good start for us through this year. So we're just very happy with how everything's working so far. And then next year, we're going on a big tour again, finally after Corona. So we're just super happy on how everything's working out so far.
Coming out of Corona, you've spent some time to really be kids again. You've spent some time to just live life. I want to talk about your journey with growing up in the spotlight and finding yourself. I want to ask, do you guys have a good sense of who you are as people today?
Wow. I think the thing that people really can see in us, in all of interviews and everything, is that we're always ourselves. We are two very happy people that we always are so grateful for what we get to achieve. And we always look at people the same as they look at us. We give them 100% respect because they're nothing else than us, just because we're two famous guys that has got to travel around the world doing big shows. We always appreciate everyone and will always respect them. and we're just always ourselves. And I think the reason for that is that we come from a small village where it's very important that you are yourself 100%. And I think it's very much that when you live in these big cities, big places, it's always about fitting in because you want to get into these groups. If not, you don't have these kind of friends. But when you are from a small town, everyone is always friends, and it's always about being yourself. And that's what we get to show people when we're out traveling as well, that we're different, we're ourselves 100%, and that's how we like it. And I think that's very important. And we want to show people around the world that they always has to be themselves as well. Don't try to be anyone else. It's very important.
Love that. I want you to say like something that like you appreciate about each other, because this is so cool. You're brothers and you get to do this. I feel like there's so much that you must have experienced. Like, what would you say is something that you're proud of each other?
So he's there always to take charge. He's always remembering things, saying, okay, we have to do this, and this week, today, we have to do this, that. And he's always been like that. So I appreciate that a lot. And I'm very proud of him that he's taking charge and taking this work very seriously. I do seriously as well, but I'm a bit lazy. So he's often there to say, okay, but you have to do this today. And I'm like, oh, okay, I will do that and this or whatever it is in life as well. So I appreciate Marcus being there for me. And yeah, that's a real big brother. So yeah.
Love
That's
that.
the nicest thing he's ever said to me. Yeah.
That's a big crowd there.
Yes. Yeah. I would say most proud of, or I would say at the same time appreciate, is that I get to do all of this together with him. I think all of these 11 years would be totally different if we didn't do this together as brothers. And I don't think I would be able to do all of this either, because it's been so many long trips, but we've actually had each other to support each other through it. And I think it's been so important. And I think that's why it's always been fun through the whole road, the ride, or what you would call it. Because together we're always there for each other, and we'll make all of these days, concerts, so much better. So I'm just very lucky, and that I got this lucky charm with me everywhere I travel. So I just really appreciate that, and I'm proud of him for being with me through all of this. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You two have each other throughout the whole journey. I wanted to ask what you've learnt from music and social media, apart from just obviously having fun. It seems that you guys can have fun, which is cool. What have you learnt from this whole journey?
Well, we've learned that this journey of tour or social media, or if you're out working, it could get very lonely. When you're out touring, as we said, you can get tired or whatever, but it's a very lonely path because you're basically there alone, working hard for yourself. And that's why I'm super, super lucky to have my brother there, to have my dad there.
Totally. Yeah, I feel like loneliness is probably one of the hardest emotions that humans face. And I think it's a very real thing that you bring up. It's funny because I feel like that means as people, we need like that community, no matter, even if it's just one person, to have that connection as people. But what do you do to overcome or work through those feelings of loneliness when they do come up? Because it's definitely very relatable.
I think it's very much easier than you think. It's just spend time together with people that really loves you and take care of you. And I think that's been a very good part for our life when we've been out traveling, that when we're lonely or feel tired, we always have people around us, my brother and my dad, when we're traveling, that takes care of us, take care of each other, and actually ask, how are you doing? Is it anything I can do for you? And I think that's been very good for us. So or just call the person that you miss a lot. Yeah, right? That's also a thing. Just call whoever you want. And if you miss that person a lot, just call him or her. It helps a lot. But I think it's way more easier than you actually think. It's just and especially if you think that other people are feeling that, it's just go talk to them. Use a bit of your time to ask how they're actually doing, because so easy, and that could mean so much for that person that probably has been feeling very sad or lonely for a time, just to go and talk to them, be nice to them. And I think that's also very important just in general in life. You don't know what people are going through. So it's very important always to show them the respect they deserve. And that's what I also always do when I'm here at home, ask people when I talk to them, how are they doing? How's life? And just wishing them a very good day, because you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think that's really good to do and to showcase for people and really caring about them. I wanted to ask a deep question for you guys. What is the hardest moment you've dealt with mentally in your life?
We've been very lucky.
We we don't really have those moments a lot, or maybe never, that we have a hard moment that makes us really think, like the question you asked us. We've been very blessed and lucky with a very good family and friends, a brother who takes care of you. Like, we've been so lucky through the whole part of our journey in music. That has always been there for us. We'll always had people that we trust around us. So we've been very lucky that we gone to that path where we've been very down or very sad, or what you want to call it. We never had our heart broken before. Like, we've been very lucky in our life that we haven't been in that path,
Any of those stages. And of course, people that's watching this are thinking, oh, of course, they must have been like at one of those places. And of course, we've gotten really sad. You have people that you love that has died, but that's when you really look around you and think how grateful you are that you still have these people around you that you really have to take care of. And it's like never really been down there mental. And it's very sad because in this world, it's so much of it, so much more than we probably know, of course. So that is why we're just so lucky to have this amazing family around us that has learned us also to really be grateful for everything that we have.
You've mentioned a family quite a few times in the chat. What does family mean to you, and how important is your family in your life and your success and just your overall mental health?
Everything.
everything.
It's family is number one for us always. It's the most important thing for us.
Family then work.
Yeah, and they're the reason where we are today. And it's just they've been learning us how to live this life, and we just been very lucky to have an amazing mom and dad, and especially a dad that has helped us through everything that we wanted to do. When we played football when we were younger, we went to an academy that was 4.5 hours away, and we trained there 2 times a week. So he drove us 4.5 hour there and 4.5 hour back, 2 times a week in 2 years, just for us to get to do what we really wanted to, which was playing football. And then music came, and he had 2 jobs. So he did everything with us, as well as when we came back home, he started working back to his job. So he drove the whole night to go around where he was supposed to work. So he's been always doing everything he could to make us have what we want to. So it's very important for us that when we see how much he really cares about us, that we do that back to our family. And when we get a family, that we also want to do that, because it's just, yeah, they really care so much about us and support us through everything we do. So it's just, they're number one for us.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. And that's such a beautiful story about your parents and family, and dad doing that for you. That's an amazing sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so important to have that person like in your corner. Again, like if it's family or friends, just to have that person is like that you can trust is amazing. I was wondering, like, when it comes to like your career with life now that COVID's over and your schedule is picking up, how do you make sure that you still take time for like self-care and checking in with yourselves?
We've learned from our mistakes. We've learned when we were very busy, because we had 230 traveling days a year before Corona. It was too much for us. Too much. We've learned that we just balance our life better. For example, we're 2 weeks out traveling, hard work every day, almost 10 hours every day. And then we get home here up north, 2 weeks or 1 week here. So we can charge our battery, take care of ourselves. And then we go 2 or 3 weeks out working. And then we get back to home. And then we are 1 week home or 2 week home. So we can get that little break. So we can get that little break and just take care of ourselves and just relax. So we've learned from our mistakes that you need that break often so you can relax, take care of your body, then you can work hard outside in the music world.
Because we've been very bad at telling the people around us when we're tired, so the body does it for us, which is not so good. We learned that it's very okay to take a break. It's super important to relax. It's super important to listen to your body and to do what you feel you have to do.
What advice would you give to your younger self then?
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, just enjoy everything you get
Yes.
to do.
I was
you
about
know?
to say that as well.
Yeah, being in that young age and get to do all of this, it's
Great.
like almost no one who gets to do this. We have released a documentary movie which did very good in the whole Scandinavia. We released 2 books in on our own Scandinavian arena tour, our own European tour, being on tour with Jason Derulo,
was
doing
crazy
everything with this.
times.
Enjoy it.
I wish that we didn't rush it so much because we were just doing it and it was fun, but we were just doing it. We didn't really capture the moment and enjoy it. If I was about to tell my young myself, you should just enjoy and capture every moment that you think is good.
How lucky you actually are. How many people that really wanted to be in our shoes. So just really enjoy it. Because when I look back, I just think that almost no people get to do this at our age. So we just have to really get it in, enjoy it.
I just had one last question on that. What advice would you give to others right now?
I think maybe do what you want to do. It's very simple, but the simple things are often the best ones. So just do what you want to do. Don't listen to anybody who thinks they're right. Do what you want to do. Do what you feel like you want to do.
I like that.
Always do that.
And I wanted to wrap us up a little bit as well and just ask, what is something that you're most proud of that most people don't know about you?
I think what we're very lucky at is that we get to do everything we love. We get to spend time with our family. We still get to play football. We play in the 3rd division in Norway. We still get to do music. We get to combine all of this together, which we're very proud of, because I think when you are in the music industry and you really want to go everything out, you just forget everything else around you. But we've been very good at combining and balance everything together, which I think has been a very good thing about our journey that gets us through all of this, that gets us to be we still think about being ourselves all the time, because we go back and we still remember who we really are. And I think it's very good that we get to combine everything. And I am really proud about that we don't forget everything that's around us.
That's awesome. Anyway, guys, it's been so fun to chat. You guys are so fun to hang out with. I wanted to ask, over the next 12 months and with your music, what place do you hope to be in mentally? And what do you hope people take away from your new music that we're all excited for?
I think mentally we just want to stay where we are right now. We're very happy with everything, how everything is going. So we want to stay there, but it's very important for us when we release music that people can relate to it or really want to have a time to enjoy it. It's very important for us. We have a lot of music that we're working on, and I think we're going to release a song next month, and then hopefully more songs through next year while we go on a little European tour. So it's going to be good.
It's the fans keep telling us that our music makes them happy, and that's like the best thing ever. So hopefully, as I said, in the future, that our music keeps people happy.
That's great. That's all you can do, is want to allow people to feel the best they can through your creativity.
Totally.
And I think that's the best thing. I wanted to ask one more question to wrap us up as well. For you guys personally, when it comes to your spiritual health and your mental health, where do you want to be in the next 12 months?
I'm a very optimistic person, and I like that because it helps me a lot when I'm either working out or even if I'm working with the music. Like, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, and it helps me. It's a motivation as well. So hopefully I'm there as well in 12 months and not tired or negative or something. Like, I like being optimistic. I would say I've always been very perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect to be good, and that could be a good thing. But sometimes it's also a bad thing because I get stressed when stuff doesn't feel right. So I want to get better at letting go stuff that because everything doesn't have to be perfect. And I also feel like I'm a very optimistic guy, and I want to keep that to myself my whole life, which I think is a very good thing. We have that from our dad, I would say. And yeah, mental. I just want to keep on being happy and spread the happiness to other people, make other people happy.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I think it was a really fun episode. You guys are funny. I like you guys.
You guys are funny. It's the Australian vibe.
Yeah, you guys are legends. Yes, that was an awesome episode with Marcus and Martinus, and I really enjoyed hearing about how close they are with their family and that love that they have for their father and just parents overall for helping guide them through the journey. I think, as you can tell, community is really important, and also knowing when to speak up and set boundaries around the way that you feel, needing a rest is so important. So this is your reminder to make sure you speak up when you have that inner voice, which is saying that you do need some rest time, and make sure you take that for yourself. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and we're so grateful that you stuck around this far. We're really excited for you to hear our episode coming out next week. And if you enjoyed this, please make sure to send it to a friend and rate it 5 stars. It really helps us grow as a podcast. And yeah, excited to see you next week.